Hey, Red.
All right,
It's so nice to meet you.
nice to meet you as well. So,
Lovely. I'm going to do a quick intro. So, welcome everybody to Ambition Amplified. My name's Issa, and today we have CEO Red, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So, please go ahead.
hi, I am Anthony Sampson, Artistic Director of Reds Angels Entertainment, and we specialize in training, artist development, video production. We also focus on individual talent of the dancers, so sort of like an agency,
Yeah,
and really try to get the dancers in a professional environment and enhance their craft.
lovely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Would you prefer that I called you Anthony?
That's fine. You call me Anthony.
Okay, lovely. Well, it's so nice to meet you, Anthony. I'm so excited to talk to you. I
Yeah.
have seen your work. I have read some of your interviews, so I'm ready to go. So you told us a little bit about uh, Red's Angels
Yeah.
is the company that you brought up. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm just gonna jump into that real quick, if that's okay. Um, can you told us that it's more about artist development and production of like different videos and things.
Mhm.
What is what has it been kind of expanding your choreographic lens onto the business side of it?
Um, the business side, it has shown me that um, a lot of people, the business side, it's all about contracts and stuff like that. But overall, I think it's about the dancers because that's what they want. They want the dancers. Everybody want to work with me. That's cool. But I feel like I've built an environment where I have a lot of strong dancers and they are very great performers and entertainers. So it's about making sure that we're giving the client what they're asking for and making sure that we're keeping that relationship. So I would say as far as the business, it's about locking in that relationship on everybody that we work with and also just giving them a great experience because you want to leave them with an awe or just a positive energy when you're done with the booking.
Absolutely. How has your history, and we'll dive into your history as kind of a choreographer and a dancer too, but how has your history of a choreographer given you a specific lens on helping dancers get out there?
Um, I would say I've been choreographing since I was a kid.
Mhm.
So I realized this year I was a choreographer first before I was a dancer. Like I used to make up
Yeah.
dances at a very young age, like around 8, 9. I used to make my sisters learn my choreography. So through a choreographer's lens, I would say um, I actually learned from the dancers. Like a lot of my
Mm.
choreography are from them. So depending on what I'm making up, I think about a certain dancer in my company, or I think about how a certain movement will look on their bodies. So I am inspired by them when I do create choreography, and of course the song. But I do think about what looks good on them because they are the talent. So yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes total sense.
yeah.
And then you told us when you started choreographing. Can you kind of describe your style of choreography?
My style, I would say, is very sharp. I love Janet Jackson, and I love hip hop. So I mix a little bit of Janet with my own little edginess hip hop feel, very clean cut, very shapes and arms.
Mm.
Um, I, and I do have personality, so I put a little spice in. I want to make it fun and
Yeah,
also serious. I want to make you look at it. So again, creating an experience in the choreography. So.
I love that. I see that's probably also why you're a creative director, an artistic director. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and those roles?
Artistic director. It's basically as what it says, but you're creating art. You're creating a moment. You're creating something that people want to look at and not get bored. So, depending on the project, whether it's an artist or like you're working on a dance visual, you're creating basically a story, and your
Mhm.
story makes sense with the song choice, with the outfits, with selection of dancers with a certain type of choreography. Um, yeah, so as an artistic director, you have to put all of those components in one
Yeah.
create a story. That's what you're doing. You're creating a story that makes sense to the audience. So,
Absolutely. How did you jump into the business side of dance? Like,
mhm.
how did you get into that?
Okay, so the business side, I was trying to run from it, but it kept
Mm.
coming. Again, when I first started with Red Angels, I was having fun. It was just, we was doing videos. That was pretty much it. But then out of nowhere, people kept requesting us for shows, and I didn't know how to, like, at first, I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't want to say yes because I knew it had to be done professionally. So the business side started happening when we started getting requests for shows, like for baby showers, music videos, um, like 2021, we was doing all type of shows you can name, block parties, whatever.
Wow.
So I started implementing contracts and making sure my dancers get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Also in 2021, I realized once I got the fellas in, I realized at that point that I had a dance company. It was no longer something I was doing for fun. I was like, this is now a dance company. So that's when we started just working on, like, what is the structure of the company and what is the objective. So again, that's when we start focusing on individual development of each dancer, what we expect. We do video, so music arts wanted to work with us. So we started building just more of a structure, making sure that when the dancer walks in, they know what they're getting out. So
Love that. And you talked about working with a couple artists. I see you helped with the choreography for someone who's gone on tour recently. What was that experience like? And how did your process kind of change?
okay, tour. That was totally different because it's like a rush. It's happening so fast, right?
Mm.
So you have to do a lot of preparation because the dancers, they're on stage. Like, I do the choreography, but we had to prep going like full out at rehearsals, making sure that they're ready for, that performance style, crowd engagement. So once they're up there, it's like you perform and it's over with. So we tried our best to live in the moment of the performance because when it happened, it's over with. So I would say touring, it happens very fast, but the experience is really amazing. When you look out in the crowd and see all them people and the phones, it's really like a rush, but you really won't forget it. But overall, definitely exciting for sure. Like, yeah.
Incredible. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because we really did just jump into it. Where are you from?
I am from Chicago. I'm born and raised here. This is my city, South Side. Yeah, Chicago.
Lovely. How has being raised in Chicago influenced your work?
Um, that's a great question. Um, hmm. When I was younger, I used to dance by myself a lot. So once I got more confident, I was like, okay, it's time to branch out. So I started dancing with teams across Chicago, like Funnel Phase, Next Level, Geek Squad. I danced on a lot of underground teams from the South. And as I got older, I tapped into more of being a choreographer once I got to college. And I would say how that influenced me now is a lot of those things that I've learned back then, I implement them in my company, but I enhance them in a different way. So back then, like, we didn't have opportunities. We didn't have White Sox. We didn't have WGCI Big Jam. Like, I didn't experience that in my younger days. So now that I have the company, I want to show people that you can actually have a career, because if we was doing the half the stuff we was doing now back then, I would have had a different outlook maybe. But I think the beauty of my company is you can definitely jumpstart a professional dance career, because back then, again, we didn't have that. We look forward to, like, the Billiken parades and
Mhm.
downs. So I would say the influence was just making it better, making it a better experience for people that come in.
Yeah, I love that. And on that note, actually, in your interview with Bold Journey magazine, you said your passion for dance was so strong, you always wondered what it would be like working as a working dancer, and you didn't know it was a real possibility, or just a hobby. So when did you realize that it could be more than just a hobby?
Um, I realized that I want to say once I got to college is when I realized it. Like, okay, you can actually be a professional dancer, and that could be a career for you. Like, because I've started seeing people live out their dreams. Before that, me personally, I didn't have um like in front of me, I didn't have what a professional dancer looked like. You
Mm-hmm.
know, things that I saw, but I think just for a lot of people, you don't see the lifestyle of a professional dancer, so you think it's just a hobby for a long time. But once I got older, I started seeing like, oh no, you can definitely build a name for yourself and have a career. So I would have to say, during my college era and a little bit afterwards is when I started seeing dancers like evolve. And
Mm. I love that. And how do you think, what's the difference between approaching dance as just a hobby and then taking the next step
mhm.
to make it a professional career?
I think the difference is, some people just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's something unexplainable. It got to be in you. It got to be in your heart. It got to be like in your mind. Everything about you has to live and breathe dance. Some people come out the womb knowing how to dance. Some people just have a talent for it. And I think the difference is just the passion. Like you feel it on the dancer, you see it in the dancer, and nonstop training, nonstop learning. You never stop learning. So some people tap out after a while, but a real true dancer just never gives up. And you can evolve into different things, but if it's in you, it never leaves you. So I just think professionally, you just keep training. Like you just keep training nonstop, and then you keep going. You got to be hungry. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Besides, of course, always learning and being a lifelong learner, what other advice would you give dancers who do want to take that next step into being a professional?
Um, Dancers who want to take the next step and being a professional, I would say, do do go the right way.
Mm.
Like for a simple thing as a resume, a dance resume, very basic for a dancer. That's something you should always have. Networking.
Mm.
You go to events, even if you go by yourself. Like we got far in our company just by me networking. It's simple. Introduce yourself, and you in, talk to people. Don't be afraid. Um, Also training again, training different styles. If you're a hip hop dancer, try to do ballet. If you're a ballet dancer, try to do hip hop. If you are a tap dancer, try to do I don't know, modern. Switch
Yeah,
something that you never done before because um in the future I'm pretty sure you're gonna be put in a room where you gotta do something different. So you want to expand your horizons and be versatile.
I love that. Absolutely love it. All right. So you told us a little bit about your journey as an artistic director. Can you now tell us your creative process when either you're choreographing something or if you're putting all of the pieces together, which is
Oh, I love um, my process. Okay, my process is very okay. I like to visually see it first, and I like for it to come to me. I
yeah.
don't like force. So if it come to me, that's my best work when it just come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
So I listen to the song over and over. I like to be by myself, and I'll create whatever feels right first, whether it's the chorus or the verse. Sometimes I don't go in order, but whatever feels right first, I choreograph that,
Mm.
and I start creating a storyboard, making sure the visual makes sense. And sometimes I ain't gonna lie, I don't follow through with my original vision. That's decisive, but I feel like that's the beauty of just how I work because I'll see something or I even make it up and I'll be like, no, I don't like that. We're gonna do this. And it come out right.
Yeah.
So my indecisiveness works for me and a lot of people on my team knows that about me and I know it can be a little frustrating, but they at this point they know how it works. So
Yeah.
I just think like doing a lot of trial and error and just following the vision that I initially saw, that helps me go about it. Um, and what
Yeah.
else? I would say making sure the story, like the way it
Mm-hmm.
opens, it ends with it making sense. So you want to watch something from the beginning and then end it with like, okay, either what's gonna happen next or
Mm-hmm.
okay, I get it. I get what they were trying, portray in the visual.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Are you a writer? I feel like I have to ask. Do you write?
No, I don't. But what's funny is I tried to be a journalist at one point in my life. It wasn't for me. But it was a phase I went through. It was for a short amount of time. So that's why I started laughing.
Absolutely. I mean, I could tell just the way you approach it so much like a story or like writing a story. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Incredible. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, and then I do want to ask more specifically.
Right.
I've watched a lot of your like tribute videos, your visuals, some of the like other things that you worked on. How do you navigate putting your work on these other dancers? I know you talked about like catering to them, but in general.
Um, you said okay. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, that was all over the place. Um, one working on your
Mm.
tributes or your visuals, how do you navigate? I don't want to say collecting these dancers, but pulling all these dancers into a room and putting your vision on them.
Oh, okay. The way that works is we're a company, so everyone knows that we always do visuals because that's how we started. We were heavy on visuals. So when it's time for a video, we let everybody know whether it's going to be a co-ed
Mm.
video, either a girl video or a boy video, and everyone knows attendance is important. So that's how it's simply that you're in a company. So when it's time to come to rehearsal, you should know to come to rehearsal. So we do that first, and then we learn the routines, and then sometimes we chop it up. A group of people will do this, a group of people will do that. So learning the choreography is great. It challenges some people. Again, we try to do something different every time. So I think getting everybody in the room is I don't want to say easy, but it's like an assignment. Everybody know what time it is. Like, okay.
Yeah, everyone has to pull their weight for sure. Um, and can you tell us about collaborating on those visuals and those works?
Yeah. So in some cases when I need help with the visual or there's a choreographer in my company that I see fit, I always work with them and tell them like, okay, I'm having troubles with this part. Can you collaborate with me on this? Or I'll assign them choreography. And also sometimes they have a vision and I'll end up just creative directing it. Like our Janet Jackson video, all right. I don't even think I did choreography for that. I just directed the video. But Michael Henderson, who's a choreographer in my company, choreographer, he choreographed it. So
Mm,
a lot of times, some of them do have visions and sometimes I'll sit back or, just come in when I'm
I love that. And I don't think you mentioned earlier being indecisive. I feel like it's more flexible. Like you're open to things changing. It's adaptability,
yes.
which I think is, I mean, another great piece of advice for upcoming dancers and choreographers. It's okay to let other people lead, which is so incredible.
Mhm.
Fantastic. And talking more about these collaborations, it sounds like you work a lot with your direct company.
Mhm.
When you, or if you venture out of your company, how do you approach those kind of collaborations with people you haven't necessarily worked with before?
It's outside of my company. It's usually more so whether it's people that want to do music videos. We have done some commercials here and there.
Yeah.
They more so ask me to creative direct it or direct it, but we're a one-stop shop, so they're going to say I need 4 dancers or 3 dancers. So in that case, I have to bring on my dancers with the outside project, which is usually a music artist, and I treat it like I'll treat one of my videos. I'll create a story for the artist. We'll direct the video again, create an experience for them, whether it's a photographer on set, production assistants. We've done that before. So implementing our experience with the artist or the outside client. For some reason, I mean, I have done some stuff alone, but most of the time, some people from my company gonna come do it with me. So
There you go. You have your people. You've built a community. You've actually like built a community of people that you have around. I think it's great. I have to ask, how do you balance all of it? You're an entrepreneur, a choreographer, owner of a company. I see you're interning for a record studio too. Like so many things on your plate.
I really, um, hmm, I really don't know. I would say I'm very ambitious. I'm very like one of them people. Okay, if I got to do it, I got to do it. I
Yeah.
might, but I'm gonna get it done at the end of the day. So, um, I just like I just like being in different things. I don't like just sticking to one thing. Sometimes my hands just be in different pots, and that's just how I always been. Like I got to do different things to keep me going. So, I just think I do use my calendar, but not a lot. I need to get better at that. But the balance is just truly me just knowing what to do. Like I just like to have different things going on. I can't really explain it. I really
Yeah.
can't. I just
I Yeah, that's great. My mom always says just do the next right thing. You don't have to think about like the next billion things that you have to do. So that is also fantastic. What have you learned with working and collaborating with other artists?
I've learned that what can I say about working with other artists? I've learned that they just need support.
Mm,
Like a lot of Chicago, they just really just need somebody behind them. The same way my dancers got me and we got each other and I have them. A lot of artists, you gotta think about it, they're by themselves on stage, right? Or behind the scenes, they do a lot on their own. A lot of these artists be planning things on their own. So they don't have anyone like, again, just simple as a production assistant on set
yeah,
or I want to just hand them a bottle of water. Like they just really need support. So I've learned that, you know, just genuine support, whether it's just giving you advice before you go on stage. A lot of my dancers do that with artists. But I learned that they just need support, moral support. It's that simple. Um, and also they look for an experience
mm,
with the dance. When people are when artists are dancing with dancers, a lot of them are intimidated because the dancer, of course, know how to dance, but okay,
sorry, so sorry about that. Um, yes, you were talking about moral support, and then you
yeah,
were talking about an experience.
no, just making them feel comfortable because a lot of artists, they want to feel comfortable on stage with the dancers. So, just building a relationship, building a vibe, so that way, it's an experience for both ends. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And I do want to ask your opinion. I feel like in pop culture, there has been a new conversation about the importance of dancers. We saw Victoria Monet shout out her choreographer recently too. How important is it that we uplift these dancers?
I think that's very important. I think just considering what it is, number one, you got to consider it's their time. Some people make a living off dance. So, a lot of people think we just want to wake up and boom, cat, cat, when that's really not the case. Like, we have a whole life before we come to rehearsal. So, I feel like just having consideration of our rehearsal time, that's number one.
Mm,
We're out for this show. We want to make sure we're well fed. You want to make sure, you got to think about travel, um,
mhm.
wardrobe, makeup, all of these things I just named pretty much a dancer is doing on their own and not being compensated for. So I feel like the basics should be considered more because I do struggle with that sometimes when talking to some of my clients, but I do make certain things work. But I appreciate her shouting that out because our lifestyle should be considered more when it comes to dance because we are the people that bring the performance to life. Without dancers in these performances, it'll be boring. So start treating us like we're top tier, which we are. but I feel like that should definitely be, a little more investment on that end.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. What has been an experience that has shaped you creatively?
Hmm. Experience that shaped me creatively. That's a hard question. Um, I would say when I was working with hip play ballerinas,
Mm-hmm.
working, I was brought in as a creative director for their national tour. I believe it was in 2022. So here I am, a hip hop dancer, working for a ballet company. So I had to push myself to create ballet choreography and mix it with my own style. And when I worked with them, that's when I realized that I could do anything. I realized I can work in any room, no matter that I don't have the professional training or not. It just showed me that I can adapt, like the word you used earlier. It's about adapting and also making it my own. So that showed me a lot during that time. And then when I was younger, I used to want to do ballet, and I never knew how to express that to my mom because I didn't want to be judged. So in hindsight, that I'm a creative director for a ballet company, that was just mind blowing to me. Like it was very deep for me. So yeah.
That's so good. And hip play is hard. Those those dancers work hard. All dancers work hard. You work
Yeah,
so
they be on point, on the toes. So
yeah, absolutely. How did you what kind of conversations did you have going into that experience where you were really reaching outside of your comfort zone?
um I would say just talking to people in my company about it, getting advice from them.
Mm-hmm.
Also back to learning from your dancers. I got people in my company who are technically trained.
Yeah.
So it's ask them what they think, or when I create something, I'll see how I look on their body. A lot of them know a lot of different terminology, like a passe or a
Mm-hmm.
plie. They teach me terminology that I don't know. So again, learning from the people around you. I'm never one of the people to act like I got it all in the bag. If it's people in my company that know something that I don't, I always ask them a question.
Yeah. What is your advice on being a lifelong learner? Because you seem very curious,
Mhm.
like a very curious person, always willing to learn. I think pride gets in a lot of people's way.
Mhm. For sure. Um, Wait, can you repeat that
What's
again?
your advice for staying a lifelong learner?
I would say still lifelong learner. Be observant.
Mm.
Just observant. Like if you are questioning something or you're curious about something, just pay attention to what's going on. Like do your research, and then you want to dive in, ask questions, and use your resource. Um, but never be too prideful. Never above it, especially if you want to learn from it. Because a lot of people get in rooms with people and just be still when the whole time you want to ask somebody a question. You want you want that info, you got to speak up and you got to pay attention. So never think you're above something or too good. Just try to humble yourself a little bit and walk into something or an environment. Just ask questions. That's it.
Absolutely. They say closed mouths don't get
Exactly.
fed. So
hmm
better you better say something more. What do you want audiences to take away from your work?
I, I would like for them to take away that do not be afraid to do whatever it is you want to
Mm.
do. Like, also, everything is not meant to be perfect. Everything is about evolving. So I want them to take away of being free with your creativity, and also the biggest thing is evolution. Because a lot of people think you have to have everything lined up, and sometimes I do think like that. But overall, that's not how you're gonna evolve. You evolve from trial and error. You evolve from learning from your past to make the next thing better. So definitely take away evolution and take away being free with your creativity, because we have done some things that I just think up off the top of my head, and I look up, it's a whole visual. Like we did a car wash shoot. I
Mm.
thought of that like 2.5, 3 weeks before we did it. So just don't be afraid to go after any vision you have. Like just do it. Like if you know you got it and you got the people, just go for it.
I love that. How did you learn to give yourself so much grace? I feel like that's a really hard lesson
Oh, I love
to
that.
learn.
I still struggle with that. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I still struggle with because when you're a leader, you are struggling to like you got all these things going on, right? So you'll make sure everything is perfect because you got people behind you.
Mm.
So you always got to be on your P's and Q's. People look at you for the example. So it's just hard trying to please everybody, but you also got to set the expectation.
Mm.
So I'm going to give myself grace by just recognizing the good that I do. Like, okay, I know I'm doing the right thing in this aspect. So don't beat yourself up. Like you come to rehearsal every day, right? You showing up to all these bookings, right? You don't have to, but you're there. These are grown people. I don't really have to be there, but I'm there for them. You know what I'm saying? Um, I give myself grace knowing that I'm organized, knowing that I am staying on top of things in my company. So even when I think I'm doing my best, I just take a moment and say, okay, at least you're doing this much, and that matters because this much that you're thinking about is something big to somebody else. So yeah,
That is so lovely. I needed to hear that so bad. So thank you so much for sharing that.
no, thank you for asking that
Yeah.
because I need to give myself more grace because I struggle with that real bad for real. I really do.
It's hard. And I think it's hard for creatives. I'm a dancer too, and it can
Yeah,
be so difficult to be in class with people and be like, oh, well, my leg's not up
yeah,
there. I'm not catching that fast. And you're so right. Remembering why we're doing it and how far we have come from when we began is
yes,
just so important.
yeah.
So thank you so
No,
much. Fantastic. I only have a couple more questions for you. I feel like this flew by.
it did.
Absolutely insane. Um, can you tell us about some of um, your current creative works, your
Yeah.
current projects?
Yes, so we just had two visuals out recently. So TJ Williams, sorry, a videographer that we work with, we just collaborated with him. He had a vision for They Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. So we
Yes.
have a whole video out with him, and then we also have a video out with our ladies, Tinashe Nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So those are our latest two projects, and the girls are like doing a back and forth battle. They're in a boxing ring. They got scenes outside. They also ended with a sexy scene. So yeah, we have two videos out right now, and we are going to be working on some other things very soon. So yeah,
Lovely. And I did watch those videos. Everyone go check it out for sure. They're so
yeah,
sick. Very cool.
thank you.
And I do love Tinashe, so that
Yeah,
nasty video was so good. Um, fantastic. If anyone else has any questions too, I feel like I just shot all of mine off at you so fast because I was so curious. But I guess before we close out, what does ambition mean to you?
oh, I'm sorry. I caught myself trying to respond to people because okay. Ambition is um having tunnel vision,
Hmm.
right? Seeing it right in front of you, no matter what's in your way, you gonna go after it, no matter what. Because a lot of things has tried to take me down over the past 5 years, but I did not give up. I kept my eyes on the prize every time. So ambition is just having a straight focus, like no matter what, you're not gonna let nothing come in between that. So yeah,
I like that a lot. And since you brought it up, how do you stay so resilient?
I stay resilient. It comes a lot from my mom. She's always been like that. So I always think about her when I'm having tough moments. But staying resilient, I would say um just knowing your worth, knowing who you are and knowing what your mission is. Again, you're not gonna let nothing come in between that. So just knowing who you are as a person and knowing what the mission is with whatever you got going on, whether it's a company or a project. I know the end goal for Red Angels and I know who I am as a person. So whatever tries to interfere with that, I just pray about it and
Yeah.
I group myself again, talk to my people in my company and just keep going.
Incredible. And if you're able to share, what are some of your goals for Red's Angels?
I have a lot of goals for Red Angels because we're more than just dancers. We are entertainment. So I feel having a dance, not a dance studio, but one day I want a center where it
Mm,
has a theater on the side and also like a video production side where you come and film videos. In this studio, you will have a massage room because dancers need a massage. You know, they got to unwind. And this dance center, you will have a room for kids, a babysitting room, a gym, a lounge area. So I want a whole dance center and a theater and look. I'm sorry, I think big, but short term, I do see us transforming into an agency very soon,
mm.
and um, getting my dancers to where they want to be. A lot of them want to perform at award shows, so very soon I see us transitioning to different cities and traveling more.
I love that. Yeah, I did see that Red's Angels was in LA recently.
Hmm.
How is
Yes.
how is that experience taking your company and touring it a little bit?
So we have two levels in our company. We have an elite group or a premier, which is like a underneath elite. So we took our elite group and we went for training. So we went there, took a few classes. We also networked with a few people, and we ultimately go for team bonding. So we go to
Mm,
network because LA is big for dance out there, of course. And then it's also about team bonding. We want to get closer, create memories. So we're going to keep that going every year.
I love that. Absolutely incredible. All right. Is there anything else you want to plug?
Um, I would say look out for this is very important. Auditions are coming up. We're going to be dropping details very soon within the next few weeks, maybe less. But everybody that wants to audition for Red Angels, this is your time. It's coming this November. And I'm looking for fresh talent, new energy. I'm ready to just see what's out there. Every year I get excited about auditions because I never know who's coming. So I just want to see like who's gonna, know, get with a company like us and see what they bring to the table.
Absolutely. I mean, you might see me there. Can you plug all of your can you plug all of tell people where they can find you?
You can find me at my Instagram, REDD.retro_. Follow us at reds.angels. Stay updated on www.redsangels.com. But we will be dropping some more, a lot of fun things very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Anthony. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, thank
You have so many wise words, and I know all of our viewers are going to absolutely love it and eat it up. So, thank you so much for talking with
you. No,
us. It has been absolutely lovely. For everyone else out there, catch Ambition Amplified every Thursday and Sunday at 7 p.m. on this page, Ambitious Entertainment. Um, and catch us on YouTube too, because that's where we'll be posting all of these interviews as well. So they'll live on.
okay,
So,
thank
absolutely.
you much.
Thank you so much. You have a great rest of
All
your
right, you
night.
too.
Thank
Have a good
you.
one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.